Denise Yezbak Moore. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create these freshwater pearl earrings with this French wire loop at the bottom. The tools and supplies you will need to create these earrings are round nose pliers. This brand is called Lindstrom. They're amazing. Wire cutters, chain nose pliers. We will need 18 gauge wire, 24 gauge wire, an ear wire. These are coin freshwater pearls and a head pin that will fit through a pearl bead hole. We're going to start by cutting a 4-inch length of 18 gauge wire. This wire is not used in the earrings. We're going to use this wire to create the French wire. So if your wire is very soft, you're going to go through and just kind of tap it. We're going to try to harden it a little bit, but I want to keep the shape round. So just kind of go through, tap it, harden it a little bit. Once it's hardened, you can see I have two little marks right here with a Sharpie. I want you to place a Sharpie mark for 1 1/4 inches. So one right there and one right there. So now we're going to start creating our French wire. I like to leave a little tail at the end. And what we're doing is we're coiling the wire around our 18 gauge wire. And we're just coiling. And we're going to keep coiling. And I'm going to stop, and I'm just kind of going to push that together. And then I'm going to continue to coil. 24 gauge wire I do not recommend using to finish your bracelets with beading wire. If you're going to create French wire to finish your bracelets, you would need to use 28 or 30 gauge wire. So we're coiling, and this is the longest part. Then we have to stop, and we're squishing it together. And you're just going to continue coiling. I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to finish to save time. I just finished coiling my wire. It's 1 1/4 inch. I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim off that little end. And then we're going to trim off that little end. And then we're going to grab our chain nose pliers, and we're going to tap those ends down to make sure that there are no sharp edges. So now we're going to remove our French wire, and here is what the wire looks like. Our next step is to cut a 7-inch length of 24 gauge wire. We are going to form a wrapped loop at the end of the wire using our round nose pliers. We're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove it, trim that little end. I like to flatten my loops, and we're going to come back in and very gently tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. Our next step is to string our freshwater pearl. We're just going to string that down to the end. And now we're going to grab our French wire, and we just strung that French wire down to the end. And I'm trying to find the center, which is right about there. And I'm making sure I'm holding that right up against each other. We're going to come in and we are going to wrap. There's our first wrap. So we're going to start wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's go 6. We're going to come around to the back. And we're going to trim off that little end. And then we're going to tuck that wire in and straighten out our loop. Now we're going to create our little dangle. I just strung my freshwater pearl onto my head pin. And we are going to form a wrapped loop, placing the pliers right about there. I'm going to bend the wire back. Now I want this loop to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to move it up, because if you start your loops here, they're really small. If you start them here, they're really big. So I'm just going to move it up, and then I'm going to bend the wire towards me, move the pliers to the side, and then I'm bending the wire back, and I'm straightening out that loop. Now we're going to remove it. We're going to come over and attach that dangle. See why I made it a little bit bigger? So it would have movement around the French wire on the earring. And we're grabbing it and we're going to complete a wrapped loop. And we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove it. We're going to come back in, trim off that little end, and we're going to tap our wires down, and I want to make sure my loop is nice and straight. Our last step is to attach our ear wire. This is how you open and close an ear wire. We're just going to open it, and I want it on the side. Let's see, this side. And I'm going to attach it and close the ear wire. And there you have it, how to create my freshwater pearl earrings with this cool little French wire loop at the bottom. Please scroll and check out my other DIY tutorial videos. I try to post a video each week, and I love to correspond with beaders worldwide. Leave a comment. I will always answer back. Follow me on Instagram at Denise Yezbak Moore for more daily inspiration. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.